daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello everyone, slightly different background behind me and maybe a slightly different kind of microphone, so I do apologise. I'm away at the moment and I couldn't really watch the game in full because I was out and about. However, I've tried to keep up. I watched the last 20 minutes. It was horrendous. Let's go through it from what I can see. I mean, 3 points, great, fantastic. That goes against what Niall and I thought. We thought we were going to get battered. We might have got slightly battered, but not on the scoreline. But just trying to piece together what I've got and what happened in the match. So I won't go into detail about, I don't think this, I don't think that. I'm just recording my pure relief about how finally we've got 3 points. We got 3 points. It's unbelievable. It is. I went into this game and I went into the Chelsea game just thinking, we were going to get slaughtered, all that good stuff. But somehow we didn't. And somehow it's all okay. And we got 3 points. 3 points that I definitely wasn't expecting. 3 points that Niall wasn't expecting when we were on our preview episode. Garnacho never made the field. Casemiro did start. He scored and got sent off. Just dropped a Casemiro performance, like as always. We had a Bruno Fernandes goal as well, so my fantasy is going up in value. We scored, we conceded a typical United to concede goal. The game had everything. And including when we went 2-1 up. No, not when we went 2-1 up. When Chelsea scored that goal to make it 2-1, that's better phrased, I instantly thought, well, we're going to lose from here. There were 13 minutes to go, and I just thought, we're going to lose from here. I was so tuned in from last season and tuned in to last season that all I could think of was, here we go again. But no, we held on and we got 3 points, and 3 points that we sorely needed. Just looking at the game and the stats in that game, just having a look around, I mean, we made the better chances. It seems like if you're an XG believer, which I have to be in this case because I didn't see a lot of the game. However, 1.74 XG for Manchester United compared to 0.39. Now, Tom in our chat, he's also away. He can't be here tonight. However, he did say in our little group chat that we weren't clinical. And once again, it kind of shows, we obviously outscored our XG. Brilliant, fantastic. 11 shots on target. 11 shots in total, 4 shots on target. I mean, it's not the worst thing. And to be fair, throughout the whole game, there were 16 shots. 11 of them were to Man United. And it's fair to say that as soon as Sanchez got sent off for bringing down Mbeumo as the last man, it kind of made sense that it would go that way. But why does Casemiro, how does he get in a position where he gets himself sent off and makes it 10v10? I don't understand that. Surely as game management, even if they're on a yellow card, you sort of think, I don't really need to make this tackle. I think we'll be okay. And that's why I'm sort of a bit haphazard into really putting a gauge on how this game really feels, because it should have been 11v10 throughout the entire match. There should have been no need and should have been no real reason why we went down to 10 men. But Casemiro opened up that opportunity by getting a second bookable offence. It just makes sense, right? I don't understand that one. But anyway, it was good to actually see a victory, which is very, very nice indeed. It's 2 bookable offence. So for Casemiro, it couldn't be looked at essentially because it's a booking. So, hey, it is what it is. But with that victory, it takes us to 9 points for the season. We're cooking now. We're well on our way to equaling what we got. I mean, it was according to the Premier League, I'm just looking at the Premier League app. Since his Premier League debut in August 2020, Casemiro has now been shown 3 red cards. Has been shown more red cards than any other player in the competition. I'll be honest with you, 2022, I didn't realise he'd been at the club for over 3 years now. That's quite amazing. But yeah, Fernandes on his 200th Premier League appearance gets the 3 points, and Dimitar Berbatov actually on the Premier League app as a pundit said this of Bruno Fernandes' goal: I think he's the most creative player in the team. He knows how to pass, how to create. Sometimes if you stop the cross, you'll stop the goal. Sometimes it's not that easy, but it's a great goal from Bruno. And that's coming from Dimitar Berbatov, who, first class, first touch, and everything in between. So that puts it in a great light. Glenn Hoddle on the Premier League app says for Chelsea, I think going down to 10 men so early in the game is harsh. They have to readjust, and they probably readjusted a bit too quickly. The second half, they looked like the team that were in it. United were hanging on, but they got over the line. You could see the relief that they did from the players even. It's a massive 3 points for them, and it's something they can build on. And somehow, Amorim's got back-to-back Premier League victories. Make of that what you will. Make of that. We'll see. It's a lot to sort of take on board. It really is. But that now takes it. I don't know why it said that, because we clearly lost against City. Oh, it was home victories, wasn't it? That's why. I was about to say, no, that doesn't sound right. We got battered by City. It's consecutive Premier League home game victories, and it also makes us so that Chelsea have not won at Old Trafford since 2013. That memory and that record will live on, at least in the Premier League, for the rest of the season until next year. Huzzah! We get a victory at long last. Anyway, I need a breather. I'll be back after this.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Your body is unique, and Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bionic, the world's most personalised supplements. Bionic provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimize your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bionic. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
So looking at the lineups there, as we predicted, Altay started in goal with Le Mans still not starting for Manchester United. Again, we're not really sure why, but it is what it is. Altay starting, and by the sounds of it, he didn't have a lot to do in the game. But again, it's a cross that comes in and it's just poorly dealt with, as always, really. So is there much he can do at that one? I don't know. Maybe command of a better area? I don't know. I didn't really see the goal in full. I sort of had it, just around me. So I'll let you be the judges of that. But we started with De Ligt, Maguire and Shaw, and I really wasn't sure of Shaw going into this game. I respect, Amorim's trying to give him this position so that it's not as physically demanding on an injury-prone player. But I feel like, Lenny Yoro kind of should be in that position. He should be starting at that centre-back. I mean, we started Maguire, which in a big game like this where we needed physical presence as well, makes sense to start Maguire. I think he's been pretty decent when it comes to it. De Ligt as well, having a decent game. Mazraoui, I think some of the recovery tackles he did in the game towards the end, phenomenal. Stopped Chelsea multiple times in that one. Yeah, starting with Fernandes and Casemiro in that deeper role. I mean, until Casemiro got sent off, he was having a good game. Almost cost us the game, but there you go. I mean, no, to be fair, there were 10 other people on the pitch at that point. But it doesn't help when the man advantage you have, you just wipe out cleanly. Mazraoui and Dorgu started as our wing-backs, and then we had Ahmad and Mbeumo and Sesko up top. And again, it comes to this point of Ahmad, he drew quite a few fouls in this game, which is, pretty good. He's a very tricky kind of winger player. And I raised on a previous episode as to how effective he is when you push him narrower into the pitch, make him more of an attacking midfielder. And I wonder how much of that it gets taken away. But from the details I saw, from the brief moments I saw, him winning fouls was kind of what we needed in a game where we were 2-0 up and starting to struggle towards the end, and we needed to sort of play the game out. Mainu as well came off the bench. A lot of talk about whether he's actually going to be a Manchester United player in the future. I hope he is. For Sam's sake on this podcast, I hope he is as well. In any case, we need to sort of talk about how the game was wrapped up in a way. Mainu came on in those last few minutes, and it was a counter-attack that was, I think Cunha was there, which he came off the bench, which is great to see. I thought he wasn't going to be included in the squad at all, so great to see him on there. I just think as well, Mainu coming on, we've talked about how an important player he can be and how important it is for him to have minutes on the pitch. And I think it was a very mature, a cameo appearance, if you like, to see the game out. And the skill he was doing in the Chelsea end and actually won a corner from that as one of the last pieces of action in the game, it just shows you, we needed to shut that game down. We needed to make sure that Chelsea weren't getting back into it because they had too many chances. There was one right towards the end, where somehow it gets blocked. I can't remember, right off the top of my head who it was who got the block in, but I think I was just trying to see through the red that was across me at the time. I was furious with how we once again led a game that we were 2-0 up in. Somehow, creeping in that another team could try and steal 1 point or 3. It was infuriating to watch. However, we got there in the end. We got there in the end, and that's, I guess, the most important thing. We got the 3 points. If I had to give, a player of the match, I'd probably give it to Fernandes. He was a goal scorer and was mature enough to, stay on the pitch and not get himself sent off. Sounds a bit harsh, but it's true. Casemiro needs to learn when you're 11, you've got a man advantage. Probably wisest to keep the man advantage, especially when we're going through such a sticky patch of form, and we have been for at least a year now. So, hey, it is what it is. We got the 3 points, and I'm going to just sleep on that now. I can watch Match of the Day, which is great. That's all this matters. It's all that mattered. Hopefully you enjoyed this little bit of a shorter episode. Again, apologies for if you're watching on YouTube, which you can watch us at GSPN Daily Man United podcast. It's so long, so you have to remember it. You'll notice I'm missing a few frames from my camera. It's because I've had to set up a very temporary one. And believe it or not, there's no desk in here. So I've had to improvise. I hope it's not too jarring in this one. That goes the same as well. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, make sure you do follow us on the podcast so you get a push notification when it goes live. On match days, we try and make it as soon as the match finishes, we start to record. So it's normally, hopefully, within the next 30 to 45 minutes of full-time whistle. So hopefully that goes to plan here today as well. Fingers crossed. And yes, you might notice a drop of audio quality. Apologies. That is, again, a temporary setup. Hopefully won't have to use that too often. But as well as that, with this recording software that you're listening that I've recorded on Zencastr, it makes it really easy actually to set up and make sure you record a podcast in 4K if your temporary setup can support it. But it can also give you a wide variety of AI editing techniques, such as removing words and ums and ahs as well. So that makes it really easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is also delivered efficiently on its platform. If that sounds like your kind of thing and you want to start your own podcast, make sure you check out Zencastr in the show link below. In the meantime, we got 3 points. We won a Premier League game. Go and celebrate. Enjoy your Saturday night, and we'll be back to give you a little bit more of an in-depth review once we've all regained our composure, or I've regained my composure, and we can do it all over again and relive a win against Chelsea. In the meantime, thank you so much for listening and watching. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy your Saturday night, and we'll talk to you soon.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.